No, no, it's not. Yeah. Right.
Okay, this is the
Yeah, download is there, no? Download from Docker Hub. What is that?
Docker desktop on Windows.
Yes, yes, yes.
This one,
Yes.
Docker Hub, right?
That's fine. Or go to the second option, install Docker Desktop on Windows Phone.
This one.
To your left hand side. Yeah, yeah, that one, right. But
This
that's
one.
for Windows 10, right?
Which one? This one.
Yeah, but that is for Windows 10. Your Windows machine is 8.1.
8.1. Yes.
Yeah, click on download from Docker Hub. Yeah, click on get Docker. So that it install. Meanwhile, let's see the other things. At the end of the session, let's connect
Okay.
for 10
Okay.
minutes.
Sure. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. Uh, okay. So last class we saw about few things like port binding, attached, detached mode, and restart policies as well, right? So did you guys go ahead and check on the restart policies? Okay, let me know if you have any issues on that. Okay, so today we will be seeing how like we have already seen how to stop the container, is it? But before stopping, removing the container. But before you go ahead and remove the container, make sure as a best practice to go ahead and stop the container first and then remove it. Even if the container is still running, if you want to force stop, you can also use -F to the Docker container RM command. I'm pinging you the command which will help you to remove the container. Okay, so it's Docker container RM and your container name or container ID. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see one command which is used to see the Docker system disk usage. So this will be important whenever you are debugging few things, like whenever you are seeing if which of the Docker image is getting what kind of space and what is the space that is getting occupied by your Docker container also. Okay, so this gives overall view, like you have images space used is you have two images, that is Nginx and Hello World, and what is the space that it is taking and what is the container space usage. Okay, so this is only to use your debugging mechanism whenever you are dealing with the containers. Okay, so the next thing what we are going to see is how to remove the container on exit. That means, say for example, I start a container. Uh, I'm I'm sure that the container would run for 5 to 10 minutes and then exit, right? So in that case, we have to go ahead and remove the container because it is already in the exit state. So exit state also will have some sort of memory which it is taking, right? So we don't want to keep that memory inside the system because we will be dealing with multiple containers. That's the reason we want to put a condition, or we want to run the container so that whenever the container exits, it should be removed automatically. Okay, so let's do one thing. So we are going to create a Docker container with this name. Okay, here the image which we are using is BusyBox. BusyBox is also a similar image compared to your Hello World and Nginx because it takes the space less. That's where we are going to use BusyBox. Okay, so what we are doing now is that we are taking the image called as BusyBox. We are creating a container out of it and we are telling go ahead and ping 10 times to google.com. Okay. Oh, give the other name, give test1. The test is already exists is what it is telling.
No.
I think test1 is also there.
Yes.
Give test4 because I remember test2 also we gave. Give test4 or something, some unique name.
Yes.
Okay. So now give docker ps-a. ps space -a.
This one.
Yes, so yeah, that was the one, and it exited after 21 seconds. That means it executed the command ping -c10. If you give the log, you will be able to see in more details. So let's give sudo docker space logs space test5 so that you will know what is the operation that has happened. Sudo docker logs.
Logs. Okay.
Yeah, yes, should be there. Okay, once again. Yeah, now you can see what it has done, right? So it tried to ping to google.com 10 times, right? That's where that was the operation that we gave, right? We overrided the default command of BusyBox, right? So now let's do one thing. Right now you are able to see the exited container, correct? But whenever we are using one more command, what it does is once the application is exited, it will remove that particular container. Okay, so let's see how that can be done. Okay, here I'm only giving the name as test6. Okay, so take this command. Yeah, paste this, and also once you execute this, go to sudo docker ps and see the container should automatically be removed from your list.
No. It is here. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, please. So now you see that the test 5, right? No, it was test 6. So test 6 is not there in the list and it automatically exited, right?
No, it is here.
Ping again, docker sudo docker ps. Can you clear your screen? Because I'm not able. Yeah, because it was executing until that time, right? So we gave around 10 times to execute. That's what is the useful of your remove command whenever you are starting your container, so that you don't have to worry about it. Once it finishes, it will be removing your container so that you can optimally use your Docker engine. Okay. So these are about the different operations that you can perform with Dockers. Now let's go ahead and see how to write our own Docker file. Okay, so before that, let us take one operation wherein we are going to see how to install the Nginx in a server. Okay, and then we are going to automate how to install that particular Nginx via Docker file. Okay, so let's do one thing. Okay, did we discuss about Docker registry? No, right?
No.
Okay, so let's see Docker registry first, and then we will go to the creating own files. Okay, so what do you mean by registry is that right now we have an account created in Docker Hub, right, to have your private repositories. So in case if you want to save it other than your private repositories, you also have an option which is called as registry. That is the registry image present out of your Docker Hub public image, like how you have Nginx or Hello World. In the same way, you have a registry image as well, which will allow you to save your images inside that. Okay, so the different forms of registries that will be supported, which will help you to save your images are: one is the registry that is out of your image from Docker Hub, the public image. But here the images that you're saving will not be confidential.